My new book, Pillars for Life, A Guide to Spiritual Ethics and Practice, is now out and available for you to read and purchase. You can check out our website, willowhealing.org, to find a link, or you can find it on Amazon. We look forward to getting your feedback, and if you love it, please leave a review and share with your friends. Now it's time for the show. Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hey everyone, it's Catherine Christani with another episode of Willow Healing Matters, and today I am joined by Marisa Lee. So she is an intuitive card reader that specializes in financial forecasting, specifically with cryptocurrency. She started reading tarot and developing her psychic ability after an out-of-body experience with the Catholic saint Padre Pio. She now helps people with relationship and financial issues and has over 40,000 followers on TikTok. She also travels around the country for Body, Mind, Spirit Expos, where she gives readings and lectures on how to raise your vibration. So a big welcome to the show, Marisa, and I'm really excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
So I feel straight away to ask you about this out-of-body experience with the saint, because I haven't had anyone that's had this happen to them. So I would love to hear what happened and how it led to that point. And I guess that started your spiritual journey from there, right?
Absolutely. So that was definitely a point in my life where I just took a different direction. So I had a very terminally ill family member that I was kind of taking care of. I had a week where it was a very, very rough week with 3 different doctor's appointments all at once. We got bad news, bad news, bad news. And I was also moving during this week and I was working full time. So to stop what I was doing and to go to all these appointments and get all this bad news and communicate that with the family, it was very stressful for me. At the end of the 3rd appointment, I was laying in bed, totally defeated. And now my family member is very Catholic. I'm not Catholic. I was raised Lutheran. So I didn't know anything about the saints, but I find the saints fascinating now. And she loved Padre Pio. Because she had such bad anxiety, I would read this book to her. It was called Padre Pio's Words of Hope. And it was just like different prayers. And it was the only thing that calmed her. And I thought, it's very simple for me to just read a prayer to somebody to calm them, right? So I just did this constantly all day, every day, it felt like. And so because she had such a strong Catholic faith, I was constantly talking about Padre Pio and being Catholic and going to church and stuff like that. So anyways, fast forward to the end of these appointments, I'm laying in bed, totally defeated, not knowing what to do next. And I said to myself, like, Padre Pio, please, like, tell me what more I can do to help this woman. And I fell asleep pretty fast and I immediately woke up in another realm. Now, this was not a dream. This was an out-of-body experience. So as vivid as I am looking at my screen talking to you is as vivid as this was when I woke up. It wasn't a dream where things are blurry and it's a dream, right? I literally woke up in another world. And I woke up in front of a Catholic church that had a beautiful glowing tree right next to it, which is why I'm so drawn to trees. And that's why I have this tree in the background. I believe it was the tree of life looking back. And there was a tree house in this tree. And Padre Pio was standing on this staircase by right out of this tree house looking at me saying, Marisa, I'm so happy to see you. And I looked at him and I was like, wow, Padre Pio. That's Padre Pio. Now, Padre Pio died in 1968. Okay, I was born in the 80s, so there was no way that we could have met. Our paths did not cross. And he said, come up to my treehouse, check it out. And so I went up to his treehouse because I've always thought treehouses were cool anyways. And he had me sit at his little kitchen table. Now, the treehouse was very cozy, and the setup of this treehouse was very significant because I found out later that it was laid out very similar to his bedroom in San Giovanni Rotondo, where he practiced when he was alive here. And I didn't know that. I didn't see pictures of this prior, right? But it looked exactly like his room. And there were like letters on the bookshelf. Like I read these prayers to my family member, but I didn't really know a whole lot about him personally, other than like he was a saint. He had a stigmata. He healed a bunch of people. He bilocated? He did some amazing stuff when he was alive here on Earth. And I didn't, and I knew a little bit about that, but I mean, I didn't know about the letters. I didn't know about the layout of his room. So when I saw a bookshelf full of letters, I thought that was interesting. But anyways, so he sits me down at the table and he looks at me and he actually looked a little bit frustrated. He's like, I need to help you. And I'm like, okay. Like we didn't say two words to each other. He's just like, I need to help you. So um he had me stand next to him and I held his hand and I could feel it. Like I could go and somebody could be standing next to me right now and hold my hand. And that's like as vivid that I felt it, I physically felt it. Um, and this light went through me. And oh my gosh, it was the most euphoric thing that I have ever experienced in my life. People talk about the light, like when they have near death experiences, right?
Right.
And I've never experienced anything like this before. It was like being on top of a roller coaster and you're getting ready to go down. Getting ready to take that plunge and you get that rush of adrenaline that goes through your body. It was like that, but without your stomach dropping, because the stomach
Wow.
dropping is a little uncomfortable. It was just this powerful, euphoric, healing energy that I didn't want to get. I didn't want to leave. And it happened so fast. This whole experience was like 5 minutes long. But I woke up and I instantly woke up and it was about 12 hours later. Okay. So I was asleep for 12 hours during all this and it felt like 5 minutes. I shot up in bed and I was wide awake. And I never wake up wide awake. I am a coffee junkie. Like I need to drink a pot of coffee in the morning when I wake up, right? In order to start like talking to people and, become human again.
Yeah.
I was wide awake. I also had chest pains at the time. Constantly when I woke up, I was having chest pains. I have terrible asthma. And it was totally gone. The chest pains were gone. I had pain in my back, totally gone. Pain in my knees, totally gone. I felt refreshed and energized and it was just the most profound thing that's ever happened to me. And so then I started becoming obsessed with Padre Pio, right? Because I had this experience. And of
As you
course you
would.
always, yeah, yeah. I mean, we always look for validation, right? And nobody is ever going to be able to validate this experience because I'm the only one that had it, right? I can't go to one of my friends and say, oh my God, did you see that? Because, they didn't have that experience. But so what I did was when I did research on him, I found a picture of his room in San Giovanni Rotondo and it looked exactly like the inside of his treehouse. I was like, it gave me chills. And then I realized he had bookshelves full of letters. And I saw that too. And I was like, wow. And so another validating point was, okay, so he had the stigmata, right? So he had holes in his hands throughout his whole life. I did not know this, but it is common for people that have the stigmata to have their stigmatas healed a couple days before they pass away. And he didn't have the stigmata when I held his hand. So I was like, wow. And I feel like I got this experience because I really went above and beyond to help my sick family member. It was a very stressful time in the family. I'll say that. And she was suffering tremendously. She was also she was a little bit difficult to deal with. She had extremely high anxiety and would lash out a lot in anger, and she just couldn't handle her emotions. And so I was really patient with her. And I was one of the few people that were able to calm her down. And I would use Padre Pio constantly. He actually wrote her mother a letter back in like the 1950s. And so that's why she was so connected to him. She loved Padre Pio. She was always, a big Padre Pio fan. And the subject of Padre Pio was the one thing that could bring her from like anxiety of like 100 to like 0. So
It's amazing. That is so magical. And I fully understand what you mean. But when you have these experiences and you can't explain them to anybody, and then you slowly get the validation. So I know that because I can read people really well. And I had this person came into our life and I was like vomiting because I just could feel how terrible the energy from this person was. Like I was like gagging, going, they're not a nice person. And everyone's telling me like, no, 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 no. And then I was like, I can't be this far off. Like this is such a physical reaction I'm having to this person's energy. And I really
yeah.
trust my intuition. Anyway, so I made moves to to make sure we got away from this energy. And then about a
Good.
month later, someone that was also quite spiritual intuitive, she messaged me about this person and she's like, oh my gosh, she is so evil. And rah, rah, rah. I said, thank you. Because that's what I
Yep.
was, I was like, thank you. Thank you for validating me. I said, I truly appreciate that. I said, because everyone was telling me I was crazy and they don't get those vibes. I said, but I knew in my heart and I knew in my gut that this person wasn't okay, so exactly what you said, the validation comes later, but sometimes we don't get validated and we're like, we're just going to hold on to it. We're just going to hold on to it. It's going to be
Yeah.
okay.
So true.
you know,
So true.
and I was talking to someone else about a guest I had on, and she goes, yeah, but how do you have proof for that? I'm like, well, you either feel it and it resonates with you, or you feel it and it doesn't resonate with you. I said, sometimes that's what you have to go by, right? That faith.
Yes, absolutely. I tell people we get information three ways: our head, our heart, and our stomach. And our stomach is the one that you really, really need to listen to, because that's where you're going to feel the important stuff. It's easy to
Yeah.
follow your head and to follow your heart, especially when it comes to love. But when you follow your stomach, those are your guides giving you messages.
Yeah, 100%. And I love too that I always talk about the Heart Math Institute, because they've been doing all this research on making decisions, right? And they've actually shown that there's more decision making receptors in your heart and your gut than your head, which is so counterintuitive to what we have been actually taught, which is to make a decision with your head, to ignore your heart and don't worry about your gut, and it's like, well, no, especially if people know their human design, like mine, I make my decisions from my sacral. It's my gut instinct, and it's never kind of failed me to this point. And people are like, you can't trust your gut instinct. I'm like, yeah, you can. You actually can. If
That's
you're
the,
in
that's the
tune with
most
it enough, you
important thing.
can.
Yeah.
100%. I'm like, it tells you if you're safe or not. You need to listen to your gut.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
after you had this amazing experience and you're more curious about what's happening, like you investigating Padre Pio, and so did you find then it kind of just led to more and more of your psychic ability starting to open up?
Absolutely. Yes, that is when I was really guided to start reading tarot. So, interestingly enough, I was a web developer for 20 years. I mean, I guess I still am a little bit here and there. But my main focus is now tarot. So I wanted a career change at the time, and I didn't tell anybody about that. I was getting burned out. I'm like, oh, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of sitting at a computer 24/7, dealing with, making clients so much money, and then I'm kind of getting gypped here. I was just tired of it. I'm like, it's been 20 years. Like, enough's enough. I want to do something different. And I love the spiritual community. Like, I've done websites for all kinds of psychics, and I have all these contacts, and I love the industry. And I was scrolling on TikTok, and like a tarot card reader came up on live, and they were just like reading cards and giving people advice. And I thought it was really interesting. So right after that Padre Pio experience, when I saw that, I'm like, maybe I should learn to read tarot. And so I had a friend, he got me started. I can't say that he finished teaching me. The I kind of took the reins on that and finished up. So it's just memorization for the most part. And it's also connecting to spirit and being connected to your cards. So when I open my cards, one of the saints that I call upon is Padre Pio, just because I feel so connected to him. And I'll tell you what,
Makes sense.
when I ask him for something, and it needs to be something that's reasonable, not like, can you put $1 million in my bank account today? You know what I mean? Like, because that's not realistic. When I ask him for help with something, I'm telling you, he answers. If I feel a negative energy in my house and I close my eyes and I'm like, Padre Pio, please just get rid of this. Just help me cleanse my house. It's gone. I mean, I feel so connected to him. I feel very blessed to have him in my life. I'll say that.
Yeah, and it's such a I just keep hearing it's almost like an ancestral connection as well, because he helped, like, wrote that letter to your family member, and
Mhm.
then and that was kind of still in there. So it's like his energy was already in your family's energy, and then
because you were so tapped into it by reading the words of his prayer. It's, people underestimate how much our words have power and have meaning. It's almost like you talked him into your field of existence. That's what I just heard then. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Words are very powerful and so are thoughts. And when you really understand that and you respect that and you start changing the dialogue that you have with yourself and your
Yes.
your thoughts and your words, and you just start really putting positive energy out, it comes back tenfold. It's amazing what happens.
100%. And it's all about, being accountable for your words and your actions too, because a lot of people just say, it was funny. I was just talking about this yesterday about, I had these students. So my background's as a speech language pathologist, and I had these students who were training under me, and they were just like, I don't know if it's the generation, I'm not sure, but they're going, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm stupid
Mhm,
too. And I was like, nah, this isn't happening. So I sat them both down. I said, your words have power. If you keep saying that about yourself, you're going to believe that about yourself. And they both went, and within like a couple of weeks while we had the remaining time together, they changed so much because they were actually really conscious about the words that were coming out of their mouth. And I'm like, it's not funny. It's not a joke. It's actually really demeaning to your soul. And they're like,
mhm.
oh, okay. Okay, and I don't know where it came as a funny thing. I'm not sure, but I'm just like, you can't say those things, because it's like when you tell a child they're naughty all the time, they will become naughty because that's all they know,
Mhm.
and or that they're told that they are that all the time, then they become that.
That's so true. So true.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've got the tarot reading. So I
Yeah.
love that. I love that it came up on TikTok, because I find that too when I'm looking for something. I'm like, oh, thank you, Instagram. Appreciate that. So,
Yeah.
so you started doing tarot reading. Did you find it was just like coming home to something that you'd forgotten about, or what happened then?
Yeah, I felt like it was what I was supposed to do. I just started going live on TikTok and just giving free readings to people, answering questions. And I got a lot of positive feedback because to me, I was more so in the beginning, I was more so just practicing. I wasn't getting paid for this or anything like that. And I didn't want anybody to hire me at that point. I just wanted to see if I could do this. Right. And I had people coming at me left and right wanting readings and, asking me all kinds of questions. So, yeah, it gave me a little bit of confidence, and I'm a big crypto investor. So, and I have been for years. And so I figured out a way to use tarot to predict what's going to happen in the crypto market. And so what I would do is I would make videos on this. And then when it came to fruition, obviously, when you post it on social media, it's timestamped, there's a date, so people can see, hey, she was able to do this accurately. Now, I can't say everything is perfect with accuracy. I feel like the one thing sometimes I struggle with is timing. Timing can be very, very difficult to determine sometimes with tarot, but 9 times out of 10, it usually does end up coming true, even if I'm off, a little bit, like by a month or so. So, I'm
Yeah,
proud of that. I'm happy with that. And so now
it's
I opened up,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I opened up a Patreon account now, and people can subscribe, and I write like a monthly crypto report, and I give updates when stuff is happening in the markets. And then I give them the information that I have, and then they can make their own decisions. I don't tell people what to do or whatnot. So,
Yeah, it's funny you say that too, because we were listening to people predicting gold and silver, right? Like it's very similar to crypto. Like they were predicting it was going to go up, and they were a year off.
mm,
So we bought
yeah,
it, and we're like, and I just said to my husband, let's just sit on it. Let's just sit on it. I said, I just have a feeling like it's going to pay off. And it definitely paid off. And we were like, okay, great. But again, like you said, Marissa, it's people's choice what they do with the information. If they think it's a bunch of hogwash, so be it. They don't have to do
mhm,
anything with it. But if they go, oh, this seems right, and my husband always says he regrets not buying Bitcoin when a plumber told him to buy it like 10 years ago, and he's like,
yeah,
hey, I'm buying some Bitcoin. He goes, and he's like still kicking himself that he didn't do it. But at the same time, this is the gift of hindsight, like you don't know. But
right.
he's like, my gut told me to buy it. I should have bought it. And I was like, well, this is what happens. So yeah.
I hear that story all the time how people had the opportunity to. I did too. And I didn't. I bought property on the moon. Okay. I did. I bought moon property at one point. And I'm like, why did I buy Bitcoin? I bought everything weird back then, anything that had potential, right? But that's okay. We're still in the beginning stages of the crypto market. So, really and truly, like, we have not had full worldwide adoption with crypto. So there is still
Yet.
time with other coins to get in now. So don't, if your husband's beating himself up about Bitcoin, tell him to get some Algorand, tell him to get some XRP, get some layer
Oh, I
one
got
blockchains.
XRP.
Good, good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to go
Yeah.
up even more. So yeah.
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 And I feel that that's like people need to look at it as a long-term investment. I always see it as, you used to get from the bank, well, they had it in Australia, like you do a 5-year fixed, like a 5-year term and put investment money in there and it would just, you couldn't touch it for 5 years, and then you could take it out. I think of crypto that way as well, because you have to
Mhm.
ride out the lows and the highs, because people who freak out when they get to the lows, they're the ones that just abandon ship really quickly. And then the rest of us are
Yeah.
like, we're just going to wait. We're just going to wait and we're going to see what
Mhm.
happens.
Yeah.
Eh,
I
yeah.
tell people to be happy when the market goes down because I'm like, hey, listen, you could get more crypto at a lower price. This is a good thing. Change your mindset. Look at the positive in every situation. So, if it's one thing that I've learned throughout all this spirituality stuff and growing in that sense is look at the positive in every single situation. There is always something positive in every
Yes. The
situation
blessing.
that you can learn.
100%. And it's like when I work with clients, because I do intuitive healing, when I work with them, I'm like, yeah, that's crap. That was crap that happened to you. But what did you learn from that? And they're like, oh,
Mhm.
damn, if I didn't go through that, then I wouldn't be doing this. I'm like, 100%. I said, so you can give gratitude to that and you can find the blessing. And straight away, that just shifts the energy around it. Exactly like you said. Oh, look, the market's dipped. Oh, we can buy some more at a lower rate because it's going to go back up again, So
Yep.
you're really trusting
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
And I guess, so what else have you added on to your spirituality practices? So you've got your tarot, you've got now your crypto predictions as well. Is there anything else that you do on top of that?
I travel around the country and I go to these body, mind, spirit expos. And I also give lectures and I help people raise their vibration. Because I believe that when you focus on raising your vibration, it's a lot easier to manifest positive stuff in your life. Whether that's like people, I know a lot of people that are struggling financially, and I can really help people like that because I'm like, hey, let's get some investments going. Let's get a side gig going. Let's start generating some good energy, some more money if that's what you need, because you do need that stability to have a little bit of peace of mind and to be able to relax and sleep easier at night. Um,
100%.
but
100%.
but there's a lot more to life than just having a lot of money, and getting past the financial struggles. When you really focus on raising your vibration and you have a mindful mindset. Like, just for example, so I started swimming this summer, and so I do that a couple, like maybe 4 to 5 times a week, just to get some good exercise. And there was I had the pool to myself, and there was this wasp that was struggling in the pool, and it was trying to get out. There's no way this thing would have been able to get out if it wasn't for me. And I'm not a big wasp fan. I don't really like getting
I
stung.
don't think any of us are.
Um, yeah, but you know what I did? I cupped some water around it and I like threw it out, and then it was able to get its grounds when it was on the side of the pool, and then it flew away. And I was happy about that. I was like, okay, I saved that wasp, because I thought to myself, if I were that wasp, I would want somebody to save me too, even though I sting people, right? But he didn't sting me, so that was good. But it's stuff like that, like being mindful of every little thing around you. It can really bring some positive energy into your life.
Yeah, and I feel it's such an important reminder too. And it's funny because when we go to the local pool, we do the same thing, but we save like the ladybugs and the
Yeah.
bees and, and they all just kind of floating there. And sometimes like this one day, we found like 10 ladybugs. We're like, this is so weird, because it was just like ladybug after ladybug after ladybug. But, my son now will go, oh, we got to save that, even. We found this out the back of our house years ago. There was like a dead mouse, and the mouse had been kind of eaten and then kind of left. But he was so sweet. He was only 3, and he went and got like this towel to carry the mouse to try and save it. And I was like, oh, sweetie, like, that mouse
Yeah.
has gone to spirit world. And I was like, do you want to bury it or we can put it in the bin? Or he's like, no, we can't put it in the bin. I was like, oh, well, what if we put it in the garden bin? Because they're like a grass bin. And I said,
Hmm.
because that's where it wants to go. Like it likes being in the grass. And he's like, okay, let's do that. So we had to do like a little thing. But it's all about honoring all parts of nature, right? Because we are part of nature. And the more mindful you are of that, and like you said, just saving a little bug, it might seem insignificant, but at the same time, it's just going about its business. You don't know what good karma that's creating in your life and what energy that's bringing in because you're actually taking the time to save one of Mother Nature's creatures. Yeah.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know, well, I know because it's in your bio, in your little extra bit of bio, but I know you also do young living oils as well. And I love
Oh,
this
yeah.
because I also do young living oils. So
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's been life-changing for me too. I'll say that. And I also know too, we're both probably very limited with what we're allowed to say with what these oils can do. Here in the US, we have this thing called the FDA. They regulate
Mhm.
a lot of the health stuff. So, I've had that kind of implemented pretty strongly, where, I've been told, you can't say this, you can't say that. I'll say this though, there is something magical to those oils, really and truly.
I remember when I first learnt about them, and I feel the biggest thing is that oils work on frequencies and we're energetic beings, so that when you use the oils, they do play with the frequencies of your body. And that's why you can feel that instant thing. But, I would just say, without recommending it somehow, but, that I have my medical kit is Young Living oils. Like I,
Mhm.
I don't leave
Yep,
home without it. It's in my
me too.
handbag. My son hurts himself, gets a bruise, I whack lavender on it. And, as a mum to a boy, like it's so important, like having this lavender, right? My sister, she used to suffer from really bad migraines. I don't know if she still does, but she used to get really bad ones. And she'd put peppermint and lavender on.
Mhm.
And she said it would just help get her out of the severeness of it quicker. She still had to take some allopathic medicine, but at the same time, it just helped with the symptoms. So, it's not saying we're curing anything. It's not saying any of that, but it's
Mhm.
how it works with the frequency and the energy of the body, and thieves. Oh my goodness. I absolutely
Oh,
love
yeah.
thieves.
Yeah. What do you use thieves oil for?
Oh, cleaning. Cleaning. I use it for
Okay.
cleaning. I spray it on my feet. Like I use the spray bottle. I spray it on my feet to help shift things. And it's really funny because actually, no, I'm just going to share this story. So I was away running a retreat and we had some kids there, and one of the kids got a tick.
Mm.
Um, and so the mum had like a freeze spray that it's meant to be anti-tick and it freezes the skin. The tick's meant to go. And this tick wouldn't come out. And I just intuitively went, I'm just going to spray this thieves spray on it. I said, I don't know why. I just have this
Mhm.
feeling. And I sprayed
Mhm.
it on, and I kid you not, in front of our eyes, the tick came out. And we were like, what?
Wow. Wow.
Yes, yes. And if we hadn't both seen it, like I still had to help her pull the rest of it out because it was still clamped on, but it actually let go
Mhm.
enough to come out. And it might have been both using both together, but we couldn't make it up that we saw that happen straight away. And I just
Wow.
gave her the bottle and I was like, just keep spraying. Like just keep
Mhm.
spraying. So and thieves is also, they've done all the research showing it keeps away mold and all sorts of things like that. Like there's
Mhm.
so many different things you can do with it, and it's really it's just amazing. Like the more you look into it, the more interesting it is into
Oh,
terms
yeah.
of
Oh,
health.
yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
even the studies that are done comparing it to allopathic medicine and how the oils keep working when the allopathic medicine stops, because the viruses and things can't actually break down the complex structures of the oils because it's replicated of a plant. So it's really intriguing the more evidence you look into it, even though we're not meant to say that. I don't care.
Yeah, right.
I can say
Mhm.
it.
There you go. Yeah, you're in
There
another
you go.
country. You're good.
Look,
Oh.
I'm probably already on their radar, so whatever. But it's it's really interesting when you want to take a step back from allopathic medicine and start to look for alternatives. This is where you start to find you reclaim your power and you can shift your mindset as well, like you've been sharing, because you're not giving your power away to a doctor, you're not giving your power away to a medical system. You're actually taking
Yes.
back your health and going back to the remedies that have been proven over centuries. They've just been forgotten. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, or erased. I mean that there's that
Oh,
too.
yes.
Have you ever put thieves oil behind your ears?
No. Tell me, what does that help?
Ooh, here's a good tip. Somebody told me this once, and I do that probably maybe at least once a week. So if you wake up in the morning and you're groggy and you're just like, oh, I gotta go to work. I'm so tired. I could just like go back to sleep. Put some thieves oil behind your ear. It perks you up within like 5-10 minutes. You feel like you're awake again. It gives you that extra
Wow.
boost.
It
And then
makes
also
sense.
too, if you are having a lot of anxiety, like I went through this one time in my life where I just had a lot of anxiety, and someone told me to put thieves oil behind my ear. Went away. It went away like almost
Amazing.
instantly. Yeah, yeah. It's amazing stuff.
And for anyone going, what are they talking about? So thieves' oil was based on back when the plague was going on. These thieves who were
Mhm,
going in for people who had passed, they didn't want to get sick and die from the plague too. So they put all these herbs in like the mouth, like kind of like a mask they used to cover their mouth and their nose, so they weren't breathing in the infected air. And they got these herbs and they put it in an oil. So I can't think of everything, but I know there's definitely clove in it because clove is so powerful on so
mhm,
many different levels. And I can't think of the other oils that are in it too, but it's just a really powerful blend. It's a hot oil. Like, don't get us
mhm.
wrong. It's a hot oil. You
Yeah.
know? It'll definitely wake you up if
Oh
you
yeah.
know, and I have to share this story of my naturopath if he ever listens to this. Anyway, so he had peppermint oil and he does Young
Mhm.
Living too. That's how I found out about it. He had peppermint oil and he didn't put the lid on fully and he put it in his pocket. Yeah, so peppermint's a really hot oil and he was just like, "Oh, I was very aware of my groin area." It was just
I can't even imagine what that was like. Woo. Yeah, yeah.
so but in saying that, there are karma oils, which are, and I love that Young Living did make the kids range as well, which I know I use that one on
Yes.
my little one for years, which is really beautiful because it's not as potent and a lot, there's one of my favorites, Chummy Jais, which is pretty self-explanatory what that helps with for kids, and sniffles,
Yeah.
all these kind of things just to help, and even throwing it in a diffuser can be so impactful and change their health like
Oh
really
yeah.
quickly, really
Mhm.
quickly. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and as we start to finish our time together, Marissa, I was going to say, I asked the guests that come on the show if you could heal or change something in the world, what would it be?
Ooh. I would like to heal poverty, where nobody
Mm.
is struggling financially anymore. They don't have to worry about like how they're going to pay for their house or put food on the table or where they're going to sleep. Like I would love to help with that. Maybe that's why I'm so drawn to like the financial markets to, help people with that because, that's sort of to me that's something that helps create stability for people and then it eases anxiety. So, yeah, that's what I would love to do.
Well, I feel too, a lot of people forget that our natural state is abundance and, trying to get back to that and realize that there is enough wealth in the world. And when they say money doesn't grow on trees, well, it does grow on trees, but also money is created every day. So,
Yeah.
if you think about that, why not get your share? Why not get
Right.
your share of wealth, right? And exactly
Right.
like you said, when you're not anxious about when you're going to pay the bills, then you can truly thrive and step into your service, whatever that looks like for you, and
Yes.
serve humanity, which is why we're ultimately all here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if people want to connect with you or follow with you, I know you mentioned your Patreon account, but what are some other ways that they can come and find you, Marissa?
My website is sacredtarotcardreadings.com. And my Patreon account is patreon.com/cryptopsychic.
Easy.
Yep,
Love
nice
it.
and easy. I tried to make it shorter. I'm like, sacredtarotcardreadings.com is kind of a longer domain, and I didn't totally think that one through, but that's okay.
It's okay. You tried. You tried to
Yeah.
shrink it. That's fine. I'll make sure to put all your handles in the show notes as well. But a big thank you for being on the show, Marisa. I have really enjoyed the conversation, and also your experience with Padre Pio. That's amazing. I love it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.